Hi guys, how are you doing? Siana Meja here, and I'm back with another conversation video. Let me fix my clothes now. This recording thing. So I've been trying to set up recording spaces in my home space, and it is very excruciating. So I'm going to try many different angles to just see the videos that are okay. For now, concentrate on the content, not on the environment, as I'm trying my best to figure this thing out. Because the more I wait, the more time goes, and the more I make excuses on why I'm not doing it. So, in order for accountability to matter, just bear with my space. And I'm going to do batch recording. So, if you see me in the same outfit, oh, look at that. You see? This is what I'm saying. I know there are people who are. I'm not going to edit out most of the mistakes that I'm making as I'm recording because I want to encourage someone who wants to start this journey like me, and they see real life. Like sometimes phones are gonna ring, people are gonna walk in. Okay, not really people. Like things are gonna fall apart. Some noise, like cars. Mtu anapita hapo na punda. So if you hear some weird noises, just know that we're building a community here. And my intention is to one day have lives. So when I have a live, things can happen. So this is a place where you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to be your real authentic self. And we can have good conversations. Let me adjust you guys there. So this is me again. Like I said, Siana Meja. I am running a cleaning company. I'm growing a cleaning company and selling cleaning products. You can check out the products at Sianamallke on Instagram as well as WhatsApp. The number is in the comment down below. If you want to ask questions, go ahead in the comments. I typically respond to all comments myself. I don't have a team yet, if you can't tell. And today we're going to have a discussion about therapy and showing up. So let's get into it. Now, in the video where I revamped this channel, I talked about having up to 43 businesses and failing in so many of them and the mistakes that I've made and the inspiration that I want to bring forth. The purpose of this channel is to share. So if you have your own experiences, please feel free to comment down below. And don't filter, like say it as it is, because it's going to help so many people be able to make better decisions or normalize like failing and just find a way to get over it. So the reason why I'm making this video is because someone asked me a question. They asked me, Siana, how did you did your friends and family not know what you were going through? Like, why didn't you share it with them? And it's very, very difficult to tell someone that you're going through a mental breakdown. It's very difficult for even you yourself to accept that you actually have in one, because we all want to be seen as these Instagram ready people who we are taking videos, we are posting good things, we're going good places. Me and my spouse, we're going to Diani, we're in Dubai, we're in Maldives. We always want to showcase the best things. So sometimes mentally, the bad things are shut down. But when you're taking that shower and you're alone, you know you're a fraud. You know that you're not really living the life that you are preaching. You know that if someone was to do an audit of you, they would see the real truth. And you masquerade it. You dress up, put on good hair or earrings and makeup. You go to nice places. You learn how to cut meat with cutlery. You learn how to OCD your house. You create spaces that are beautiful. You do nice curtains. You do nice blankets. You know, you go all the way. You buy equipment. You buy nice mugs where you hide and pretend like you're living your best life. So we know how to mask the truth. But when the breakdown hits, it hits so hard and it hits so deeply that people will wonder, like, where was all this? How long has this been going on? So for me, the breakdown happened when I was by myself. And it hit me so bad. I cried so much because I have been holding on a lot of myself internally and trying to find outlets for my emotions where I start new businesses. Like I try and find businesses that will make me feel good. And then when the businesses don't pick, or the challenges come, I'm not strong enough because the intentions for the business was not to help people, it was to feel good. And then when I don't, and then I start dating somebody, I'm like, oh, let me date someone who looks like this because they will make me feel nice. And then I date them, and then I realize how shallow they are or how deep they are, and I realize that it's not a match. And then it hurts me so much because you've loved too soon, too fast, and then the disconnect is so hard. And once you disconnect from someone, you get so vile and so hurtful that you are not even able to love the next person well. So I've gone through those phases, and that time of masking is when you put on the makeup, when you go to those events, when you go to those baby showers, when you go to those weddings, when you dance, when you're in those family gatherings, when you're going to those events at work, and when you're going to those events of businesses, and you're showing up and you're smiling and you're being like, hi guys, welcome, how are you doing? But deep down, you're one thread away from a rip. And I don't know how I got through that phase. I would say it's God. The prayers of my mom. My mom is a prayerful woman. I don't know how I got through those days. And I don't know how you're going to get through those days yourself. I have no idea. But one thing I know is that if you keep showing up every day and every hour, you keep showing up and saying, you know what? This is tough. This is hard. But I'm going to show up. And finding one person in your life to talk to. Like for me, I have a very loving family. I have a very supportive team of people, my mom, my dad, my uncles, my brothers. They are very supportive. I have very cozy people who, my uncles who I can turn to, people who I can have deep conversations with, and they will not judge me. But they were not my first to go to, because I had built this image around them where I'm the strong one. I'm the go-getter. I'm the one who tries new things. I'm the one who doesn't give up. I'm the energizer. Never say die. And then here I am having a mental breakdown. They are not the first people I'm going to go to. I am not married. I'm not dating. I'm single. And I didn't want to depend on the guys who I had maybe gone out with, because they would term me as crazy. Like, you look a certain way, you present yourself a certain way. You have no right to be crazy. You have no right to say you have a mental breakdown. You have no right. You live in a certain place, you have a certain sofa or something. You have no right. There are people who don't have food. They will demonize breaking down because it means that there's something wrong with me. And I couldn't go to my peers because they also pretend and we pretend together. So if I break down, it means they have to expose their breakdowns, and they don't want to do that. We have PR to do. We have our own public relations officers. We can't show a weakness. How now? How? So I turned to therapy. And at first, it seemed like silliness. I was like, sasa, mimi nenda kuambia mtu, I'm paying somebody to tell somebody about my problems. And in my mind, I was like, they're not going to help me, because the longer I'm sick, my business mind, the longer I'm sick, the more money they can get. So I was like, no, let me not go to a therapist. Let me try freebies. I try 7 therapists. Kila mtu nimwambie the same problem, and then common denominator. They will all give me advice, and then I can find the commonality, and then I put it in a book. I will journal it, and then I will find the solutions there. I did that. It backfired because all of them told me the same thing, that I need to introspect. And I would ask them, how do I do that? They would say, find that place that is quiet enough for you to actually hear your inner voice. And every time I would meditate, my inner voice would be like, but like stress yote, si have to do, we go shopping. Let's go buy some groceries. Let's go get a cup of coffee at Java and sit and people watch and see how couples are meeting and people are doing business deals. Let's go downtown and see people who are hustling and be inspired. We just need to be inspired. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to be inspired. You just need new inspiration. And I did that. zile rounds nimepiga downtown nikitafuta inspiration for the next big idea. All that time I've spent in Java having cups of coffee and sipping nata dawa, like looking and trying to find, where do I fit in all this? Why is it hard for me to adjust in this world? Like, why am I an odd fit? The world was a jigsaw fit according to geography. Why am I the only piece that is not edged well enough to lock into the world? What is wrong with me? I look functional. Why am I dysfunctional? Someone would say that is mental health disorder. And people gave me diagnoses. You need ADHD. I'm like, what does that mean? I go Google the name. I can't even remember the whole name. I'm like, I can't be suffering from something I can't even remember the full name for. Like, I don't think that is it. Someone's like, you're bipolar. But I don't have those bursts of double personality. And when I do it, it's because I need to. It's not that it's... I was given so many diagnoses. Somebody told me, no, maybe you have anxiety. Sijuanza kunywa hizi dawa. I'm like, no. I wasn't going to turn to medication because I can only drink medicine to a certain point. I even went the mitishamba way. I think there's a video in this YouTube where I went for mitishamba to try and balance my hormones. Then when I went to hospital, at that time even my thyroid had swollen up. People used to think that I'm taking beer. So even someone asked me, hey, unakunywa beer ngapi? I'm like, I don't even drink beer. Why do I have a goiter? So the first doctor told me I had a thyroid problem. My thyroid was dysfunctional. I went the mitishamba way. The thyroid went down, went for the thyroid test, found out my thyroid is okay. So the next thing is to go for therapy. And my therapist at that time discovered that I had something called PTSD. And the PTSD was from something that happened to me in my early years. And then the other one was because of postpartum. I had serious postpartum. Here I am, I had this boy. I had given birth to my boy, my son. And I was going through the PTSD. I had PTSD, postpartum for so many years. And nobody told me what it was. I love my boy so much so that I want to fix the world for him. Like I want to create businesses. I want to make sure the beauty industry has clean ingredients so that in the event that he ever buys a product, it's going to take care of him. I want the music industry to make clean music for him. Like everything became about him. How do I change the world so that he's safe? And his safety became so overwhelming for me to the point whereby I was so worn out trying to fix everything. The house had to be perfect, baby proofing, everything, ingredients to me, where I became obsessed because my whole life as a child, I never thought I would be a mom. I was one of those kids who used to say, Mimi, sitaolewa, sitakunya na watoto, me, I'll just live a happy life. I'll just make good money, travel the world, and just have lots of kids to take care of that are not my own. I'll be that rich auntie who just visits and leaves you gifts. And then it dawned on me that I was really enjoying being a mom. I'm a really good mom. I enjoy it. I enjoy being a mom. It means so much to me. And I had postpartum and I didn't know. So it took away the joy of motherhood from me because now it became this fear, overwhelming fear of, will I be able to do it well? Will I be able to provide for my son? What do I need to do to make the quickest buck? That's why I ended up in the 43 business because I was like, ndafanya nini? Nipate hiyo pesa, nijenge mahali, ni make sure kuna college fund. I was obsessed with making sure that there was resources for him. I wanted to gather as much, hibernate, gather as much, hibernate, gather. And then when he's old enough, I start chopping. But that's not how life works. Because he has his own path. I can gather as much as I need. I can gather as much as I want for him. By the end of the day, he can decide that that's not his path. that he doesn't want to. He can decide to become an artist and go live somewhere in Malawi and just wear cotton pants and just draw the sun and be an artist and never want to have a cell phone or be in this world of technology. And I have no control over that. The only control I have is how I impact him by how I live my life. And therapy, to be honest, has helped me a lot. It has helped me to bring perspective. So when I started this video, I was saying this video is about therapy. And I wanted to say that therapy is not usually to remove a problem. It could be to refine your tools. It gives you tools, like to be able to view things from a different perspective, because the younger version of me was so focused on the wrong thing, which is to gather resources, that I didn't actually see the people I hurt in the process. I didn't actually see the impersonable person I had become. I was not easy to relate to. I was not easy to talk to. I overlooked. I zoned out of conversation so easily, and it wasn't a pretty sight. And I'm saying all this to say that if there are things in your life that are not going well, and internally you know that these things are not going well, you owe it to yourself and to your loved ones to introspect. And I think therapy would be valuable to most of you, because just like it was for me, because the people who usually look the strongest are usually the weakest internally. And they're looking for a hand. And sometimes that hand is not going to come from your friends. It's not going to come from your family. It's not going to come from your loved ones. It's not going to come from church. It's not going to come from the mosque. Or it's not going to come from wherever it is that you think is the highest, safest form of power that can help you. Sometimes it's going to come from a stranger who you pay hourly to give you the tools. And in all the therapy I've done, the one thing I've realized is that I'm the common denominator, which means I get to change my story. And how do I do that? By showing up as I need to be, not as I hope to be, as I need to be. Like today, the anxiety in me is telling me, Siana, you cannot record in front of golden curtains and windows. You cannot. Like, go create space that is safe, that is aesthetically pleasing. Oh, hang this here, hang this here. That's anxiety talking. And when I let that anxiety talk, I'll record this video after 62 days. So I'm learning to function in the anxiety. I'm learning to enjoy my space. I'm learning to enjoy my skin, my body, everything. I'm learning, I'm relearning. And every time I have a therapy session, I leave a bit wiser. I leave a bit calmer. And I leave whole, because I have been given an extra. Ni kama shades, eh? You know, when you have light problem, your eyes are there, your eyes are functional. But when you add that lens, it brings on another dimension. So therapy for me is like a key for dimension. So I'm going to interview Faith, who's my therapist, in a Zoom call. And I'd love for you guys to share your comments down below. And even let us know, what has therapy done for you? Is it something you would recommend? And there's different kinds of therapies. There's marital, or I've even gone for marriage counseling. I know, this will sound crazy. So I went to the therapist, marriage therapist, and I told them that my spouse was out of the country, and I just wanted to show up for my session. And I went through it. And the information I got there, it changed the way I view marriage, the way I view relationships. Because if you go for this information before you are in the situation, it hits different than when you're already in the situation. Because once you're in love with somebody, it's like you're covered. You can't see the true issues. But when you go before it's an issue, you actually get the resources and the tools. So I wanted to share that. And I hope therapy is something you consider, because we all need to be healthy, for the loved ones, for the people who you don't care for, especially those ones because they poke you, and just to function. Like, let's normalize people breaking down. Also normalize people having bad vibes, because this whole good vibes. Me, I don't want bad vibes. I want good vibes. We are humans. Bad vibes is part of the spice. Like if I'm always hi, how are you all the time? That's pretense. There are days where I don't want to see anybody. There are days when I don't care for conversations with anyone. And that's me also. Like let's not demonize people having a bad vibe. Like accommodate bad vibes sometimes and be like, is the environment causing the bad vibes? Is it trauma from, like, if there are people who you care about, like, let them have the bad vibes at times. Like, it's okay. It's okay for someone to throw a tantrum as long as they don't throw it at you or anything at you. But it is okay for people to have tantrums. So let's normalize accommodating, not accepting, accommodating bad vibes until the vibe goes away, and allow people to have their spaces, especially the men in your life. Like allow them to have bad days also, because it's tough out here. It's tough for a sister. I can only imagine how it is for a guy who is expected to provide for a whole family in the same economy. um just let people be and find tools to help you navigate them instead of trying to change everyone around you, because at the end of the day people will just they skittle from you because they know you're a control freak. And I've had that phase of my life. So okay guys, I think I've said a lot in this video. Get therapy, normalize people having off vibes at times, and just find peace amongst yourself. Okay, like Jesus said, peace I leave you. So peace is all we have to hold on to, man. Okay, I hope you like this video. If there's any idea for another video, please post it down below. Like I said, I'm going to be batch recording, so you're going to probably see me in the same outfits in the next videos. And I hope they're resourceful to you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Subscribe, and if you want to donate, the details are down below as well. Have a nice evening. Bye for now.